We're doing this. I guess. I guess we're doing this. All right. Hello, and welcome to Camel Finance. Welcome to the live stream party. Getting ready to watch Bitcoin cross into a new all-time high. I think I'm already slightly behind schedule. So, first of all, can somebody just confirm you can hear me, just so I don't end up being paranoid about that? Other than that, hi to Nasco. Thank you for the champagne. I have it right here in front of me. So we're ready. We are ready. We just need to see if we can get Bitcoin to play ball. We can hear you. Thank you very much, Harry. Okay. So what are we going to do? I guess we got to watch this Bitcoin price, right? And we'll see what we can. We'll see what we can see. We'll see if we can be part of history. I've marked using this green horizontal line the prior all-time high at 69k. You can see, based on my Bitstamp chart, we did creep above it, right? We did poke above it. So technically, we already done it. And if the GBP chart was anything to go by, I think I mentioned this in this morning's video, we kind of missed it. Then we had this shakeout, right? And then we spent a couple of days doing this, and then we did this for the GBP chart. So maybe we'll get it today, or maybe we won't. Either way, though, we're going to be here. We're going to try to have some fun. And if we can indeed shoot up and get above 69k, then I have this cork ready to pop. And hopefully we don't do what we did last time with the GBP and mark the top. Don't be popping any more champagne. Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a curse, right? It's a bit of a camel curse, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Hello to everyone in the chat. Chili Fest, Nasco, Lucia. I see Brandon, Stephen, Samuel, Niraj. So yeah, let me know if you want to, if you want me to go over anything. Maybe try not to turn this into some altcoin chart in session, but I can see that it's probably going to end up going that way. I see Matrix in the house. Yeah, it happened. We've already done it. So I mean, the question is, what happens now, right? What happens now? Like I said, do we reject and have to spend a few more days teasing this or not? Something I'm super interested in the meantime, right, is take a look at the stock market. These are some big red days, and the Dow Jones firing a warning sign potentially, right? An early warning sign. So I have I have my stop choked up, and you know, potentially what we could see now is just this is a little trap that then quickly and sharply reverses to the upside and continues higher. But undeniably, that right there is a warning sign, and if it is followed by multiple further red candles below this upward sloping trend line, then I will be taking the profit on this. So it's kind of been uncomfortable for the last week or so for me. I got long here on the Nasdaq and I cut my trade here, only to watch an early cycle low be forced and then the price to do this. But as my yellow squiggle suggests on the S&P 500, and it was similar here as well, right? We got long here on a breakout. I think I added somewhere around here, and then I got out here. So overall, not too bad. Except what happened thereafter was we shot up, as you can see. And I was saying, well, it's not the end of the world because I can afford to give up a few points here, assuming we do get that pullback into that weekly and daily cycle low. So that is what is super interesting to me at the moment. Is this just a little pullback that resolves higher? Or are we starting to see that decline into the daily and weekly cycle low that we know are due? And we are getting pretty stretched in these daily and weekly cycles. So it wouldn't be a total surprise to me if we actually start to see a pullback now, and also the seasonality aligns with that quite nicely. So that is pretty interesting to me. I'll take a look at some comments. $69,331 is the new all-time high. Is that what we've got to get across? Okay, that's fine. Well, we'll keep watching it, right? We'll keep watching it. We'll see. 10k daily candle will be a normal thing. Yeah, I think it could be. I see Market Mobster in the house. Hello, mate. How you doing? Now for a big correction right before the halving. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I honestly wouldn't be so sure about that. And the reason I say that is if I pull up this, I think it's in here somewhere. It's one of these. Is it this one? No, it'd be this one. Yeah. So I wouldn't be so sure that we're going to get a big pullback just yet. In fact, I would actually think of this as my base case now. And that is that we maybe spend a day or two more here. And then we pop up to somewhere in the 90k neighborhood before having that pullback into the next 60-day cycle low. So you might actually not get, I know a lot of people want to call this a triple top. A lot of people want to see this, right? But I just personally don't think that's the most likely outcome. I think this current fractal here in yellow is probably the most likely outcome. So we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out soon enough. Zoom in a bit so we can see what's going on. These charts just get messier and messier for me. Yeah, we do keep going live to jinx it. I'm not popping the cork this time though. I'm going to save it. I want to make sure we're well clear of the all-time high. Yeah, it's not even hump day yet, which is great. Although for me personally, I'm absolutely knackered this week. It felt like a long day at the end of yesterday. It felt like a long week at the end of yesterday. Will Bitcoin follow the stock market or do its own thing? Looking to ask and demand. I suspect they both continue. Well, actually, I don't know. Actually, no, that's not even true, because like I was just saying a minute ago, the stock market, you know, it's due this kind of general shape to play out. Okay, we are due a pullback into this weekly cycle low. So I wonder if this is the top. I wonder if we're getting into that neighborhood where we could see this thing maybe just move over and play out from slightly a different spot, or maybe we've got to creep up higher. But I kind of expect the stock market to cool off because that weekly cycle low is in focus. And for Bitcoin, you know, Bitcoin can probably keep doing Bitcoin things. Its weekly cycle low is also due somewhere around the 9th of April. But like I showed you with that fractal from a second ago, where we just kind of go straight up, this one right here, flick this into log, you know, that would still be a perfect, you know, if you measure it from, where would it be, from here to here, that would still be a legal and qualifying 60-day cycle and a weekly cycle from the prior weekly cycle. So all of that count is valid. And of course, this says we go straight up for a while. So maybe the stock market does that too. Okay, we can't rule that out. It's entirely possible that this is just some kind of shakeout, right? And as my yellow squiggle suggests, we continue higher up until, you know, another week, another 10 or so trading sessions. That is entirely possible before we get that shakeout. So I'm not really sure. I think, as ever, we'll just keep taking it one day at a time. But those cycles are contextual awareness that we should be keeping our eye on. Excuse me. When do I decide? How do I decide to draw the third angle? How do I decide to draw the third angle of attack? Why can't you draw it now? Well, we can draw it now, right? We certainly can draw it now. We could draw it something like this. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to use that as your exit, then by all means use that as your exit. But remember, the bigger the structure is, then the more significant. So this first line, pretty big, right? The second line, pretty big. And again, if we go back to, it's probably easier to see on that other chart. If we take a look at this, right? You know, big line, big line, big line. So yeah, we could draw it here for sure and sell that. And I possibly would be entertaining, if we go straight to 90K like this, I'd possibly be entertaining taking some off and looking to reaccumulate at that cycle low down here. But we want a bigger structure, right? We want something a bit more, you know, a bit more size built on the chart. And this is a discretionary thing. I don't have a mechanical system to tell us how to deal with this. I wish I did, but this is something that comes with experience, and it's an individual thing for me personally. $180K Bitcoin sounds about right, I think. I'm not going to be too far from that. 70K will liquidate 690 million in shorts. Yeah, I think, honestly, I think we go straight up. I really do. I've been saying this over and over again, and yeah, it's kind of crazy, but that's what I think. Everyone waiting on a dip, and then they buy the dip. They want, yeah, I don't think they're going to give you a dip. I honestly don't. Do I reckon Bitcoin goes back to its usual 3 up and 1 down after this cycle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's what happens. It really depends on whether we go left translated or right translated. Bitcoin's longer super cycles have yet to be revealed. So I'm sort of assuming we're going to get a 16-year super cycle, a commodity super cycle, which would be twice that of gold's. But it might have a 20-year cycle or a 24-year cycle or a 28-year cycle, right? We don't really know. And because it's still a nascent asset relative to these other commodities, then, you know, we're going to have to figure that out one day at a time, as always. Look at MicroStrategy sell off. Okay. I don't know if I count that as a sell-off, bro, to be honest. Let me put this in, it's in log, isn't it? I mean, it's still above that, and the be-all, end-all is this, right? Here to here. It's still above there. So, I don't know. I don't think that's the end of the world just yet. But again, I've been saying this, haven't I? Notice how these are showing relative weakness compared to Bitcoin. And I was saying over and over again, I wonder if that's because the stock market is late in its cycle and the institutions know this. I wonder if that's the case. Certainly seems to be the case for now, at least. Could I get your opinion on divergence? Yep, that's what I think it is. As long as the US government keep printing, yep, everything will probably go higher. I do wonder if we have to have a shakeout mid-year, though. I do wonder that. Thank you for the kind comments. Thanks, Matrix. Got some people from Mexico in the house. What do I think the lowest low after the Bitcoin blow off top? I mean, I can guess, right? I could throw a dart and tell you what number I hit. There's no way of knowing because it depends how high the top is, right? So, I mean, if we went to, say, 120k, which I think would be a conservative top, then a drawdown of, I mean, 75% drawdown would put us just below that break-even miner price. Remember, after the halving, it's about 36k is the average price across all Bitcoin miners to mine 1 Bitcoin. So at the depths of a bear market, could we breach that for a short period of time, cause some miner capitulation, hand over some hash rate to the more efficient miners? Yeah, absolutely we could. So is 30k on the table as a bottom if we top at 120? Yeah, I think so. But what if we go to 200? Okay, what if we go to 200 and then draw down, I don't know, the same 75%? Then 50k, maybe. Do we have less volatility on the drawdown because of more printing and reverse twist or whatever? Do we just come back down and backtest the all-time high? That would be 65% drawdown. And then, if you think about it, bear markets, we would go something like, what was it, 95, 85, 80? What was this one? This one was 75, I think. It's around that, isn't it? Yeah, 77. And then if we went 200 to backtest the all-time high, 65, 70, we're in that neighborhood, right? So maybe that's what we see. Maybe we see the drawdown decrease over time, or maybe we get some 200k top and then we come all the way back down to backtest 50k or that 30k number, right? Maybe we have an 85% drawdown back to the 30k. It really depends. So, and then of course there's the super duper uber bullish version, which is like, what if we went to 500k, which is what Plan B's model says, and then drew down, I don't know, 80%. That only gets us, so what, 100k for the bear market low, or 85% would backtest the all-time high practically, inflation adjusted. So yeah, but I mean, it's a guess, right? It is an absolute guess. If anyone tells you they can figure out, you know, where the bottom is, they're lying. No one knows. Yeah, the dedication is indeed real. What time is it over here? Oh no, it's not that late. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Do I see a correction come in? Yeah, no, I don't really. I think we're just going to keep going straight up. What do I think a pi cycle top indicator? Yeah, we'll do that. I looked at this earlier. So I don't really have a strong opinion on this, but I'll give you the facts. Let me just sip some water. Okay. So the facts are, this was kind of a meme and a joke, right? Like, it was created and no one really took it seriously. But then the further facts are, it actually got the top within about 3 days every time it's given one of these trigger signals, right? So it started off as kind of a joke and a meme and an experiment, and then it became possibly one of the most accurate top calling indicators out there. So that's the facts. We are currently, as you can see at the hard right edge, touching the upper green line. And historically, whenever we've done that, we have seen pullbacks. But as you can see, the orange line underneath, nowhere near crossing. So should, in theory, be nowhere near a top. That's my thoughts on that. Indonesia. What time is it in Indonesia? First time new all-time high, but it's possible to defeat diminishing returns. Yeah, I think it's possible to defeat diminishing returns. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to do that because doesn't diminishing returns imply that we have to top somewhere around 85k? That says we're not even going to 100. But I think we're going to slice right through that. Honestly, like I showed you a minute ago, that fractal earlier says we go pretty much straight from here to 90k, then pull back, and then go again. So I don't think diminishing returns I don't think that's a thing. I think people have just been trained and conditioned to expect that because that's what the last few cycles did. But remember, there's hardly any supply this time, and then there's even more demand from the ETF. So I think we can keep going higher for sure. What's my target for this year? I mean, what is a target? A target is a guess, right? I can give you a guess. My guess is higher. It's higher up. That's my guess. But I mean, how much higher? I really don't know. I'd be lying if I said I think it goes here or here or here. It could be. I expect a minimum of 120 and a maximum of 1 million. So somewhere in that neighborhood, right? Yeah, all is good. Thanks. Spilled a hill. Me, the wife, and the dog are all very good. The dog is catching some rays behind me. We've got some sun here today for the first time in what feels like forever. So 220,000 euros seems absolutely reasonable to me. Miners are lagging. Yeah, I think the miners are lagging because that stock market cycle is late in its weekly cycle. So is one final shakeout. That's going to be kind of annoying and painful to deal with for a lot of people. And as I was saying in my video earlier today, I wouldn't be surprised if I take some off if we start to get breakdowns in the more extended ones. Take a look at this. But I mean, they left a bunch of gaps as well, right? And I was saying this in the members section that there's a bunch of gaps and we would be susceptible to filling them. We don't have to fill them, but we are certainly susceptible to filling them. So I wonder if that's what we get, right? Some kind of backfill of this gap and let's say this gap from down here, and then we can go. I wonder if something along those lines is coming. Maybe, maybe not, right? Any thoughts on this being the last volatile cycle? I think it's going to continue to be a very volatile asset, to be honest. I do, because there's no supply, right? So they're going to have to force big moves in order to motivate sellers. They're going to have to push the price a lot higher to motivate sellers. They're going to have to shake it out a lot lower to find buyers, or maybe because they want to hoover it up. So yeah, I think it's going to continue to be very volatile. Do I still think altcoins are not part of this cycle? I mean, that has been my base case, right? And it's kind of, with every day that evolves, it kind of looks like I'm becoming more and more invalidated on that idea. I'm seeing a lot more altcoins pumping. I'm seeing a lot of people say, my dog coin is up 45% this hour and whatever. I guess there's two, my mind is split a little bit on this. On the one hand, I kind of just assume that there isn't going to be as much of an alt season this time around. That has been the expectation. And I kind of think that a lot of the demand has come from the spot ETF, and maybe we won't see that rotate out. But then, as Credible Crypto pointed out to me yesterday, I think on Twitter, humans are humans and humans never change, right? Human greed is still a thing, and people, including myself probably, if I'm completely honest, will likely rotate some of their Bitcoin profit out into altcoins later on in the cycle. I think we're already seeing a lot of that right now. I still think, if you ask yourself the question honestly, who benefits the most from Bitcoin outperformance versus how many people benefit the most from altcoin outperformance, I still think the majority of this market is positioned more heavily in altcoins. I still think most people hold a big bag of altcoins and a small bag of Bitcoin. So it kind of still makes sense to me that the path of Max Payne is that Bitcoin keeps going up, so does dominance, and maybe altcoins get a little bit of rotation later in life. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts, right? Overall, I'm kind of the wrong person to ask. I am the wrong person to ask because I don't really care for altcoins. I just don't have much desire to hold any of them. And And in many cases, if you chart them against Bitcoin, even today, right, some of them are starting to outperform Bitcoin, but only just of late. I know there's a handful like Solana that did 10x really early on in the cycle, but most of them didn't do that. Most of them underperformed Bitcoin. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I'm more than happy, as I keep saying over and over again, if alts have some massive alt season and loads of people make money and catch pumps, then I'm happy for you. Really, I am. But I'm just not. It's not something that excites me much personally. Is everyone shorting? Wow. Okay. I mean, triple top gang and diminishing returns, excuse me, is always going to be a thing, right? The alts always tend to pull back when Bitcoin does big corrections. I know you hate alts, but just wondering. Yeah, I think usually when Bitcoin goes up, alts go up more, right? And when Bitcoin pulls back, alts go down more. They're just like a higher beta play, right? Same as the miners. Brendan, you sold your mum to buy more crypto. How low do I think CLSK will go? I don't know, but I'll cover it at the weekend for the members. Am I from the UK? Yes, I am. VNQ could chunk up on VNQ, sure. I think it broke trend. Could I check up on VNQ? Yeah, check up on VNQ, sure. Yeah, it has broken trend. Let me take this off log. I mean, as always, right? As always, I like to give this a little bit of space, because if you get in the habit of just closing a trade here, there's nothing to say that tomorrow it doesn't do this, okay? So I always like to give it a bit of space. We'll see if this is a second daily close, right? If we saw a massive candle like this, then yeah, we can cut it. But I want to give it a little bit of space just in case it does this and then rolls over. But yeah, keeping a close eye on this. The closes, as always, are the only important bit of data on the daily chart. But yeah, it does at the moment look like that's going to be invalidated and stopped out. So I'm happy to cut that, right? I mean, the stop is obviously sized appropriately. And yeah, you know, by the time I see 90 on VNQ, I will already be out. That's my thoughts. Cobra Stacker in the building. Hello, brother. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that chat as well. Go show Cobra Stacker some love, guys. Let's pull up Cobra Stacker's channel. YouTube. We'll go here. There you go. Go show Cobra Stacker some love. And me and him and CPM are going to be having a chat on Saturday, which I said this morning will be posted on Sunday. What do you think? How high Solana goes? Nobody knows how high. Nobody knows how high. Okay, least of all me. Least of all me. But again, I would be using those 3 trend lines in increasingly steeper angles. That's how I would sell. But that applies to any asset at all. So, people speculate. Yep. Those days will come to an end. Bitcoin will do the unthinkable thing in growth. I mean, I tell you what, I'll say this about altcoins, and then we'll do the KDA analysis, since Epic Media has donated $1.99, so thank you for that. Look, we'll know when we're getting very close to the top, because the day I start to trade altcoins, right, like, and I on the main channel, because occasionally we do 1 or 2 for members as kind of an experiment or a bit of fun, but if we get to the point in the cycle where Bitcoin's at fresh all-time highs and Camel starts to rotate money out of Bitcoin into these altcoins and those altcoins start popping off, we'll know the end is nigh when that is the case, okay? So it's worth, if nothing else, we can use Camel as, you know, when Camel starts to enter the market, it's going to be pretty late in the game. Is that it, KDA? Is that it? Must be. KDA analysis. All right, what do we see? Same stuff over and over and over again, I guess. So where's my box? There's my box. I see a range, something like this. Let's make it nice and wide. Be nice and generous with it, okay? I see a range, something like this. Okay, at the hard right edge, we are breaking out. So there is certainly a thesis for a trade in this neighborhood with a stop somewhere below the blue box, targeting liquidity from back above here, presumably. So that is one idea. And another way, if we were to zoom in a bit more, let's reset this and zoom in. As always, Camel's magic 3 lines. There is one in this neighborhood. Okay, so let some more structure get built out, something like this. And then I could probably draw a second angle of attack before, of course, the thing starts to go ballistic, in which case we can draw our third angle. So that's how I see it. In the more short to medium term, I would be focusing on that range break, right? We got a range break, all the while we're above that blue box, and we don't trade back below either one of these supports. Then, well, this one's not been set yet, but all the while we don't trade below this upwards open blue support line or the blue box, then there is certainly a thesis for a trade and to remain long and strong Cadena, KDA. So yeah. What else we got? Let's take a look. Oh, we should check in on Bitcoin. Getting so distracted. Yeah, Bitcoin's doing Bitcoin things, right? It's trolling us. Poked above the all-time high, hanging around there. So maybe it's not going to be today, right? Maybe today is not the day. What is this? Should it be like this? I think so. Really need to clean this chart up. Maybe it needs a couple more days, and then we will pop that cork as always. Is there a way or a place you can spot an early stage altcoin mooner? Yeah, there is. There is. And this is true not just of altcoins. This is true of anything, right? This is true of anything at all. So if you can find something that has traded sideways for a long time and has a range, yeah, and then draw a line across the top and buy the range breakout, that typically leads to super performance. Whether it is an altcoin or not, whether it is, I think did we not see this with Coinbase, for example? Yeah. So what do you see if I zoom all the way out, right? Big bottom formation, draw a green line across the top or a box, whatever fits best, and then get long on the breakout and expect higher prices. The same is true of MicroStrategy, right? It left 2 ranges behind. There's the one here, and there's the one somewhere in, if I just put this in here, somewhere in this neighborhood, right? Big range at the bottom, breakthrough there, and then super performance thereafter. So that's probably the easiest, most simple way to find an altcoin mooner and to wait for the right time to get it, rather than try to be a value investor or any of that. Just find something that's been trading sideways for a long time, draw a horizontal line or a box across the top, and then buy the breakout to the upside. That is a tried and tested way of doing it. Let's put this back on Bitcoin. Notice how the stock market sell-off is getting more aggressive. I'm just seeing that at the right-hand side. So that's pretty interesting, because we do need that weekly cycle low. Okay, take care, Alejandro. Side note, Facebook and Instagram has crashed. Wow. Meta is down. Okay, good to know. Who even uses that stuff anyway, right? Can I give us more info on your cycle trading? Where can I find more information? Yeah, so I've got a video on the channel, and it is called... let me find it. What's my channel actually? Do we need that? I don't know. Yeah, here in the playlist section, I think is a trading tutorials playlist, and in there, oh no, I did it wrong. Sorry. In here, is there not a way to, there it is. That's what I was looking for. View full playlist. Yeah, you can see, look, how to trade cycles. There is references in there to other cycle traders, and that's pretty much it, right? That is pretty much it. I am, however, in the middle of putting together a PDF, which I would give out at some point in the not too distant future. So that has a little bit more detail than this video. I kind of took what's in this video and built upon it for a PDF. So that will be coming out, but there's not a great deal out there. I do think everything you need is in here. I'm pretty sure of that. So you could use this and then go and trade cycles. The number one thing is to just practice, right? Just practice. The more you've seen, the easier they come to, the easier they get to trust in, and the more experience, like with anything in life, the easier and more intuitive they become. So that's pretty much that. I've never seen a book on cycle trading or anything like that. So yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but you know, everything you need is in that video. That's everything I know pretty much. Do I do 3 trend lines on a log? Well, whatever fits best, whatever floats your boat. There's no hard and fast rule. 10-year yield looks weak, almost 2% drop, kind of toppy. Wouldn't this give the Russell room to run higher? Yeah, probably would. We're probably going to see rotation into the smaller caps. That's my thought. My thought is, even though we've got what looks to be a clear weekly cycle low attempt here, right? A clear top trying to be put in, and perhaps a start to this decline into the weekly cycle low. I kind of don't expect the Russell 2K to do too badly, right? So whilst I expect this yellow squiggle to play out for the S&P, it makes sense to me that we would continue to at least hold this range break for the Russell 2K, or maybe only slightly below it. Something like that would make sense, illustrating that we're seeing rotation out of the mega caps and the tech stocks and into the smaller caps. And is that supported by the 10-year yield? Yes, I think so. So, I mean, for now, breakout, repair, rejection, repair. I guess we could adjust this. I guess we can move the goalpost a little bit, right? Like this. Maybe this is what's coming next. Clean this chart up a bit. This is really messy, isn't it? Mind you, all these lines at the time played an important part. So, but yeah, if this can continue to roll over, how are the rates looking? Are we getting closer to cuts? Are they putting cuts back on the table? Certainly not for March. For May, what was that like? I can't remember. It's been a while since I checked in. So, okay, they're slowly putting more cuts back on the table, aren't they? Ever so slightly. And what about June? Yeah, again, you know, they are putting cuts slightly more on the table for June. But, you know, we need to see the CPI print, really. And we're kind of stuck in time for another week. And I think it comes out on the 12th or the 13th CPI. But yeah, bonds seem to know something, right? Maybe that's the counter trend bounce before the rollover. And of course, if this is to roll over, particularly with the dollar coming off as well, like my yellow squiggle here suggests, roughly on our way to that 3-year cycle low, then yes, that should be conducive to seeing the stock market hold up okay. However, like I said, this is the context, right? We do have to keep this in mind. This is something that one way or another, we are going to get a weekly cycle low. I can tell you that now. It could come a lot earlier than this, and it could come a lot later, but there will be a weekly cycle low. That is the only thing I am sure of. Technically, it already reached 69. Yeah, it did. Yep, you're right. Did I see Crypto El Prez in the building? Hello, mate. How you doing? Ichimoku Cloud on daily. It looks like, yep, sure. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Facebook. I don't suppose it matters actually. This is a members only stock, which is why I've been a bit reluctant to cover it. You can see our entry back here, and we've been pushing it ever since. The stop is choked up, and we keep riding it. I don't know what people are talking about crashing. I think people have very strange definitions of crashing compared to me. I don't consider this a crash. In fact, what I really see is higher highs, and then higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So that could change. That could change today, right? If this ends up closing down here, then suddenly we've got a lower low again. But for now, I don't really see the issue with this. We've also got some kind of trend line maybe setting up. But this is what I was saying to the members, right? I was saying that all the while we're above this third angle, then I'm just going to keep pushing the long. It's well exceeded our profit target, and we've managed the risk after the gap up. So we'll keep pushing it. Now, if it's crashed, right, maybe, right? And when I say crashed, if you mean the Facebook, you can't get on Facebook, then fine. But the chart doesn't care, right? The chart doesn't care right now, so why should I? That's my thought process for that. Is the way I trade based on Gann study of cycles? No, it isn't. I think it's a derivative of Hurst cycles. Is there a strategy or notables when looking across bears? No, not for me personally. Can you do what you just did to find the long sideways and then buy a breakout? I'm about to jump in on the biggest. All right, I've seen a few people ask for ICP, so we'll do ICP. Yeah, that's the range, right? That's the exact pattern right there. Okay, range, horizontal, breakout, retest, resumption, right? And then at the hard right edge, we got breakout, retest, resumption, trying to resume off that way. And Camel's magic way to manage the risk using trend lines there. I wonder if we flip this into log, will it suddenly fit a lot better? Probably will. Let me zoom out a little bid. So I'd be tempted to use this log trend line. Seems like that is the neighborhood, right? So again, range, breakout, retest, resumption tells us to expect super performance and higher prices. And all the while we're above here, then there's absolutely a reason and a logical reason and a valid reason to remain in the trade. I did see in that comment, it just caught my eye, you're about to jump in on the biggest trade of your life. I hope that is the biggest trade because your accounts are all-time highs and you're still respecting and managing risk. I hope you're not just about to degen into this like a gambling addict. So if you are, please please don't do that. JA Digital in the house. Hello, mate. How's it going? What do I think about Tesla? Same thing I've been saying for a while, I think, really. Tesla is... There's two ways to think about it, and there's still two ways to think about it. I said one way is either that is a swing low and we're going higher, right? And if that's the case, then there was a thesis to get long in here with a stop somewhere below the local low, right? But I did say over and over again, I don't like that as an idea. I would much rather wait for this yellow squiggle to play out and be a buyer of a breakout with a downward sloping purple resistance line. And I also said that a lot of people wouldn't understand that because they would say, well, why would you more happily pay 260 for Tesla than you would pay 190? And the reason is, excuse me, I want a structural change in the market, right? So if it does what this yellow squiggle suggests, then in this neighborhood, breakout, retest, resumption tells me we've got a structure shift in the market. It tells me we've got a nice area on the chart around which we can manage the risk. And this is the kind of trade I like to take. In here, it was valid, okay, but it's just not for me. So that's what I think of Tesla. And so far, you know, if we're about to take out these lows, then look out below because these are pretty consistent spacing between here and here. Let me see if I can grab this. Approximately 50 bars, approximately say 50, 60 bars. And then maybe that means that we've got somewhere in the 50 to 60 bar range coming up. Maybe this thing's going to decline all the way until the end of April. Maybe if we lose those lows. Now, it could double bottom and go again, right? It could do something like this from here, maybe. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Tesla. Do cycle lows apply in crypto? They apply in all markets because they're observable, right? They're observable. That's all we do. We just observe them based on the time. So yeah, you can go back and observe them. And in that PDF I mentioned that I'm in the middle of producing for you guys, I have put out a step-by-step strategy for how exactly you can apply cycles to any other market, which is missing from that tutorial video I have. So you can look out for that. It's coming soon. It is coming soon. I'm almost done with it. Hi, Nico. Hello from Spain. Crypto prayers in the house. Coming through like a boss. Free beat for all. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to drink that at the weekend with CPM and Cobra Stacker. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. People have been very, very, very generous of late, and it's super humbling. Thoughts on BitTensor, TAL, TAL? Yeah, go on then. Only because I know Crypto Prez likes it, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Whoa. Okay. I mean, same thing applies, right? Got some range break here. Boom. Right. Bottom, breakout, super performance, area on the chart around which to manage the risk. So what more is there to say, right? Do I buy up here? No. But if you bought down here, you can see where I'm going with this, right? This is probably, yeah, there should be some alpha in today's live, right? Find a range, draw a horizontal, buy the breakout. You're going to do just fine. That was meant to say bear meat. I did. I did wonder. Oh, it's fine. Higher prices. Yep, you are right, JA. That's not ICP. Okay, wow. That's how qualified I am to analyze your altcoins, isn't it? How did I get into trading? The story is I got a degree and I went and got a career job as a scientist in a lab. The degree was in chemistry, and I got a pension statement through the post after working there 1 year to say, "Dear Mr. Camel, this is how much your pension will be valued when you eventually reach 60 or 65, whatever the number was." And that number was, don't quote me on this, I think it was somewhere between 70 and 90,000 pounds. It was a small number, right? It was a number that certainly, if I lived 30 years, was not gonna be able to feed me. So that was when I was like, okay, we need to figure something out here. So I started to look into pensions, found the stock market, traded penny stocks for a few years, and then traded commodities for a few years after that, and then kind of evolved into this cycle trader that I am now. Bear meat. Yeah, okay. Let's go back and read it again, right? Free bear meat for everyone. What do I make of people riffing Gareth Soloway for short in the whole Bitcoin run? Kind of funny. Well, it's kind of funny and it's kind of not, right? Like, first of all, let me say this as a disclaimer. I'm not familiar with his work. I'm not familiar with Gareth's work. I only just see clips floating around on Twitter, and they're fun to poke fun at, right? They're fun to make memes of. I think there's something slightly darker going on, and this is just my speculation. This is not based on any fact whatsoever, right? This is just an observation of mine. But you know how you get people like Jim Cramer, whose job it is to stand there and say, buy Meta, when really they're about to dump Meta, right? Or they say, that's it, sell Meta, right? And really what you should do is the complete opposite. It kind of feels to me like Gareth is a similar thing. It seems to be that, and again, like maybe only his terribly bad short positions get posted to Twitter and to YouTube, but it feels a lot to me like he probably works for market makers or some higher ups. It feels an awful lot like his job is to herd people into into taking the wrong positions, almost like Jim Cramer. That's how it feels. Now, again, I don't know. I'm completely unfamiliar with his work. There's a very good chance he really does have a 97% win rate, right? But I've never known anyone that can trade with a 97% win rate. And I'll be honest, if I had a 97% win rate, I probably wouldn't be selling courses and selling trading signals like he is, right? I wouldn't have any interest. Like, why, if you can hit 97 out of 100 winning trades, like, why would you, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. Your average trader has around a 50% win rate. That's your average. And a lot of profitable traders hit 35 to 40% win rate. And he claims 97%. I don't know, man. That to me is spurious, right? That is very, very spurious, especially given that, you know, if he's so good at trading, why does he have to have trading signals? Why does he have to sell things? None of it really makes sense to me personally. So that's my 2 cents. But again, I don't know him. I'm unfamiliar with his work. When Camel Coin, I was joking about this today with my brother. You know, it'd be a good way to mark the top by launching a bunch of Camel NFTs, but no, I'm never gonna launch a Camel Coin or any NFTs or anything like that. It's definitely never coming. Unsubscribe the day you see anything like that from me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2 minutes of silence for the master trader. That's also another spurious thing, right? Who calls himself a master trader? You can trade on a high level, but you're only ever like 1 or 2 bad trades away from blowing your whole account up, right? If you don't manage risk, the only shortcut in finance, what's that saying? The only shortcut in finance is is from the top to the bottom or the top to the gutter. That's the only shortcut, right? So I don't know. I've never heard anyone else call themselves a master trader. You think of all the elite level traders, they're all pretty humble. You know? I don't know. That's what I think. Big Rad in the building. Nice to see you, bro. Does the length of the range breakout give any indication to the upside estimate? Yeah, in theory, the longer the base, the higher the space, right? In theory. So yeah, the longer it goes, the higher it should move. There are a few crypto crammers. Yeah, I mean, the whole space in general, you don't need any qualifications, right? You don't need any qualifications. You can, if you've got strong opinions and you can convince people you know what you're talking about, then people will listen. How many total overall years of trading do you have? Like everything else in experience. I'm coming up on 15 years. I'm coming up on 15 years trading. And it took 4 years before I really stopped blowing up accounts. I did really well, and then I would blow up, and then I'd do really well and blow up, and really well and blow up. And ultimately, it was because of that risk management video that I released to members, and it's coming out for everyone in about... It's coming out on the 12th, Tuesday the 12th. I've got a fishing trip planned on Tuesday the 12th of March. So that's when that how to manage risk video comes out. Probably the most important video that the channel will ever have on it. So look out for that on Tuesday. Yeah, and that's what made the difference. Inverse Gareth could be the shout. Yeah, it really could be. What is a good win rate and average? Yeah, a good win rate is like 40-50%. If you ask anyone that's been around for a long time, 50%, you can do very well with that, so long as you hit 3 or 4 times your risk on every winning trade, then you'll be just fine. I think Bob Lucas, that cycle trader that I learned how to trade cycles from, has a 40. I think it's 40 or 45% win rate. So, you know, he's been doing this for 30 years. He's been doing this nearly 30 years. If I was seriously that good and a multi-millionaire, why am I wasting time on YouTube? Because I love what I do, right? I'm going to do this anyway. So I might as well turn the camera on, right? And I know people like it. Oh, I think he's directing that at Gareth. Yeah, I mean, you could tell the difference, right? This is how I like to think about it. If you come on my channel, right, there's no referral links, there is no shilling, there is no... Bitcoin makes a move like this, and then after the fact, I go, oh yeah, I made loads of money doing that, right? You can see my positions. I literally called these out in real time ahead of time, right? I showed you where the stop loss was. And if you go back in the video, that number at the right-hand side, 25270 for that stop loss, it's the same in every video, right? I can't move the stop to keep me in the trade. Like, these are real trades. And it's the same with all of these trades. I closed these ones out, didn't I? But say the Dow Jones, right? If you've been here, you saw me. I was talking about this and saying I'm gonna long this breakout, and then the breakout come. I put the stop there at the right hand side, 33456.33. That's my stop loss. I can't cheat this, you know. And I do this for free. Now, yes, there is a member section, but as I say over and over and over again, you don't need to join that. That is if you want additional help. That is if you want additional setups. That is if you want a more direct ability to contact me. But I'm going to continue to give everything away for free on this channel. And I even had exchanges. I've had quite a few exchanges reach out to me and say they want me to partner with them and shill their referral links and that kind of stuff. And one of them, this is hilarious, right? One of them said to me, oh, we think it's absolutely a brilliant marketing ploy that you gave away a free trading tutorials playlist as a way to make sure people come to your channel. And I was like, bro, it's not a marketing ploy. Right? Like, I just want to help people. I just give that stuff away because I don't need the money, right? Like, that's really what this is. And if you go all the way back to the first video I ever made, I was talking about this. I was talking about people are unqualified to have trading channels, but yet they have trading channels. They're very good at telling you after the fact they made money. But really what they do is they on a chart like this, right? They'll say something very generic. So we're in this neighborhood and they'll say, yeah, maybe this is the time to think about taking profit, right? And then they come back a week later and the price, or 2 weeks later, and the price is up here. And they go, well, I was talking about how it was probably a good idea. It might have been a good idea to take profit, but it's a good thing I didn't, right? Because otherwise I would have missed this move. yeah, well, if that's true, right, you know, how do we know? How do we know? And similarly, if it's in here and they go, it might be a good time to think about taking profit, and then a week later the chart's done this. Now in this area, they go, yeah, well, like I said a week ago, I'm going to play you a clip, and it's them going, yeah, well, here might be a good spot to take profit, right? Here might be a good spot to exit the trade. Then they fast forward to here and go, see, told you guys, right? But they didn't actually give you anything actionable. They didn't actually show you their trade. They didn't actually show you the level at which they're invalidated. And so that is what this channel tries to do. This is what this channel strives to do, is to point at people that are very good at telling you things after the fact, and instead say, look, I told you this before the fact. Here's the trade idea. Then we take the trade in real time, and we put the stop loss. We make the whole thing public, and I do this with all of my trades, right? So that is what I hope at some point in the future everyone will demand from crypto traders and YouTubers. That is really what I hope to see. At some point in the future, everyone will start to say, no, we need you. If you're going to claim to be a trader, if you're going to claim to be a professional, then show your positions, right? Own your stop losses. That's another thing. How often do people get stopped out and then actually hold their hands up and go, yeah, I'm wrong, right? Just like my VNQ short, for example. You know, this is starting to look more and more like I'm going to get stopped out or have to cancel this trade or close this trade out. That's fine, because I'm actually a real trader, okay? Like, this is part of the game. If you think you can trade and never get a stop loss, like, you're absolutely out of your mind. If you think that 97% of your trades are going to be winners, you're out of your mind, right? So, you know, this is basically how I see it, right? If you're really a trader, you should show your positions, define your stop losses ahead of time, and anyone that can't do that, and anyone that puts more focus and energy and attention on telling you to buy their altcoin or telling you to, you know, click this referral link, and they make it out like, oh, guys, let me just give you a quick demo of this exchange, which is super easy. It's super easy to make money. It's not easy. There's nothing easy about this. And most people that deposit money into an exchange are going to lose it. That's why those exchanges are so willing to pay me huge sums of money to show you guys the referral link, right? So anyway, big rant, but hopefully you can see the value in that. Gabriel making money from the member section. Good stuff. Why are miners not falling Bitcoin following? Wait, why are miners falling whilst Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high? We've already kind of covered that, and I think it's because the stock market is late in the cycle and there's some rotation that needs to occur. CPM in the house. Everyone can please go over to Creative Precious Metals channel and show him some love. I can see the subscribers ticking up already. We're going to be on his channel on Sunday around 2 p.m. GMT, and you'll be able to see our chat and our discussion with him and Cobra Stacker. So go and show him some love, please. Bitcoin breaking down. I bet it isn't. I bet it isn't. I mean, that's exactly what happened with the GBP chart, right? Everyone called it a crash, and then it kind of just did this, and off it went. So remember, we can come, whoa. We can come all the way back here, right? We can come all the way back here to this upward sloping blue support line and still maintain bullish structure. So I wouldn't think this is anything to worry about as it stands. Genuine people are rare to find, especially in trading. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you are right. It's a rough world out here, and most people are just, because they can't make money trading, they are, you know, incentivized to make money in other unethical ways, right? If you're really good at money, if you're really good at trading, money management and trading, then why do you need to sell people referral links? Why are you so desperate to, you know what I mean? So anyway, it is what it is. 95%, yep, are absolute turbo lops. Yeah, they are. People can't trade. And yeah, I think we've kind of done that to death, to be fair. The gaslighting bots are here. Yeah, the channel has been under bot attacks for some time. I keep blocking like the keywords, but then they just kind of like add a $ before or after it, or find a way to get around it. But Brandon, yeah, I figured you were after I read the first comment, Brandon. What comes with the Camel membership? You can go and check. It's under perks for each level. You can go and check, but you don't need to. Do I use RSI to enter for any of my setups? No, I don't like the RSI indicator. I don't really like any indicators, to be fair. Yeah, I don't agree with... There's a saying I got from Mark Minervini, and the saying is, losers average losers. And that is an absolute rule of mine. I don't like to average down. If I'm wrong, I just take the stop and I'll walk away. I'd much rather just completely abandon that instrument and go and find something else to trade, rather than to try to average down, or indeed, if you're short in, average up. That's not something I like to do. Camel with cigar desk ornament available. Yeah, maybe later. Maybe when we get a few more subscribers. Liquidation to 61 and then boom. I think so. I see shiny precious metals in the house. Hello, mate. How am I feeling? Does it feel kind of weird because you were against the herd? Very few saw it coming. Not really. Not really. Honestly, that just comes with experience. Like, at the inflection points, it's really good to be contrarian. And in the middle, like where we are now, then I'm actually with the herd. Okay, I think most people are expecting higher Bitcoin prices walking forward. And the herd is right for a while. But then once the herd starts to become ultra one-sided, I again will want to be contrarian at those inflection points. But overall, I feel okay, right? Like I kind of feel numb in a way. I'm trying to enjoy it. I try to have a good time, especially since building a community on YouTube. I try to enjoy life as much as possible. But also I try to just, like, I do this because I want mastery, right? That's another thing. I don't care about being right or wrong, because I just want to be as good at trading as possible, right? I want to get as many of these calls right. I want to be able to get the exact top. I'll never get the exact top, but I want to get as close to the exact top as possible for Bitcoin. I want to be able to call the top in the stock market. I want to be able to buy the bottoms again. And I want to continue to do this over and over and over again, and be able to continue to look back and say, like, yeah, well, I longed that publicly, right? And then eventually I want to be able to say, yeah, well, we exited there, and then we longed that there. And I could do this with the stock market, right? I mean, this was fantastic. Here I was saying pretty bullish, took this trade, jumped out on the channel again. Here, pretty bullish, took this trade, jumped out, took this trade, jumped out, jumped back in again, rode all of this, jumped out, okay, got back in, jumped out. If we get a pullback to weekly cycle low, jump back in again. I did all of this live on the channel, whilst showing you the stop loss, whilst calling out the trades ahead of time. Like, this is what I care about, being as good as I could possibly be. So I don't care about being right or wrong. I just want to continue to, build my skills and allow the market to make me the best trader possible. So overall, how do I feel? I feel okay. Somewhat numb, but that's good, right? No emotion is the best way to make decisions. Do I reckon cycles are a result of psychological implications? I don't know. I think they're hard-coded into the universe. I think God wrote them into the code of the universe. That's what I think. You have not missed a champagne cork. No, I was playing patient, waiting to see if we can get a true break above the all-time high level, and we haven't got it yet, but maybe that means we can come back and do a live another day. No problem, Brandon. I didn't take it the wrong way, because you've been here since day one anyway, and I appreciate that. Sonic Obama Lockheed Martin 69 Inu is the only coin I hold, as Big Rad knows. Oh dear. Kiko, no problem, bro. No problem. Yeah, Brandon is indeed an OG. It became a dump party. Apparently it did. I seem to have the touch of death when it comes to putting these live streams on, right? I come here to celebrate, and then the next thing you know, Camel marks the top. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Classic shakeout. I mean, honestly, this is what happened with the GBP chart, right? If I type in Bitcoin GBP, click here. You know, I showed this earlier, right? Here we were when I popped the cork, right in this wick. Let me zoom in a bit more so we can make sure we see, right? We come all the way up here, full green candle. I pop the cork, and then we sort of sell off, and then the next day we sell off again. You know, that's not an insignificant drop either. That is, what's the high here? Around 50,000 GBP, down to 46,000. And yeah, then it takes, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't break the all-time high for a full 5 days. And then on the 5th day, we break out, and now we're retesting, looking for potential resumption to the upside. So I wonder if that's what we see, right? We kind of just about missed it. We've had the shakeout. Do we now need 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th day we go? You know, maybe. That maybe means we're going to break it at the weekend. We will see. For now, though, we'll just try to continue to enjoy and see what's going on. What do I think about gold? Yeah, I think gold's cool. Still pushing this trade. Got that daily cycle low in focus. Hopefully that forms somewhere higher up. I'd love to see this. And then we can add a position, move stops up, just like we do any other day of the week. That would be quite nice. Oh, I found teaching makes me a better trader too. No, but it makes documenting my trades easier. I would say that. How long would you say the average person takes to become profitable? It really depends on the person, right? It depends on, because it's not really a technical skill set, is it? It's a discipline. How disciplined are you, right? If you're the kind of person that already works out every day, eats right, runs 2 side hustles, yeah, wakes up at the same time and goes to bed at the same time. If you're already that kind of like hyper disciplined, hyper focused person, then you probably pick up trading like 10 times faster than someone whose daily routine is to play video games and drink and do nothing, right? So anyone can do it, but the more disciplined you are, the quicker you're probably going to pick it up. And the more addicted to process you are as well. If you can focus on just nailing down a process and then repeating that process, and your entire focus is on sticking to a process, you're going to do well. But if you're the sort of person that's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use an RSI for this entry, and then the next trade you take is for some completely other reason, and then the next thing you know, you're making a fundamental trade and averaging down for no apparent reason, and you can't stick to your plan, like those kind of traders are really going to have a tough time. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. See everyone worrying about MicroStrategy. Give it some space, bro. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. We are... Wait, what's this log? Yeah, I mean, for me, that blue line, the second blue line, is more important than this one. Yeah, we'll see, right? We'll see. But it hasn't closed below, and the following daily candle could certainly reverse and move higher. This is pretty steep, remember? So I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see. One day at a time. Mate, how are you so humble? Have you ever felt cocky at the beginning of your trading years? Yeah, way too much. Way too much. If you don't humble yourself, the market will humble you. And I've been humbled so many times that I'm almost like shy. I'm almost scared of the market because I know what it can do. Right? I think I've blown 3 accounts. It might be 4. So, you know, whose fault is it? Is it the market's fault? No, it's my fault. My fault. I thought I knew something. I didn't. I didn't know anything, right? Clearly. Otherwise, I wouldn't have blown up my accounts. So how am I so humble? Just, it's not really, I wouldn't even consider myself necessarily a humble person. I just think, you know, I'm experienced. That's what I am. I know. It's the same as anyone that spent a lot of time in the sea probably loves the sea. But you also know that you fear the sea, right? If you fear the sea because it could take your life. And you can't just be like, well, it's okay today. I'll just go out in that bad weather anyway. It doesn't matter, right? I'll just take my chances. That's not how it works. You know, this is serious. You have to pay respect where that respect is due. So that's how, right? From being a cocky child, now I respect the market. Rename it Dump Party and it will go higher. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it seems to me like we marked the top again. I'm glad I didn't pop a cork twice. I'm glad about that. I'm gonna wrap this up because I think we've been going for a little while. I'm gonna love you and leave you. But if I think that we're gonna break out in a couple of days' time, I will pop back on again. I'm enjoying these live streams more and more. So also, like I said, we're gonna be recording one with CPM and Cobra Stacker at the weekend. So look out for that on Sunday. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. Next time I go live for an all-time high party, I will call it short Bitcoin big time now. So then we can guarantee we go above. Camel always marks the top. Yeah, I do. Sorry about that. Gareth Soloway is happy now. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't he need 50 something to break even on his short? Something like that. I don't know. Gold is beautiful on the wrist and around the neck. Yep. How far do I think gold could go? I'll show you my gold fractal. All right. I'll show you my gold fractal. Is this on log? Yep. And we'll go weekly. And we will zoom out a bit. This, excuse me, is what I think. This is what I think gold does. Now that is not a popular opinion, right? But that's how I like him. That's how I like him. So, yeah, this is kind of what I think. And I think this is conservative as well. This assumes there's not going to be a 10 or 20 trillion QE bomb. And I think at some point there will be. So I think realistically 15k gold by 2033 is more than doable. Maybe this will end up looking more like this. Then we're getting, I think now we're getting more into that territory. And for the silver bugs, I think 300-ish an ounce is the top for silver once this bull market gets going. But it's going to take a while, right? It's not going to happen quickly. Yeah, taking profit. Yeah, I will. I am going to go and focus on MicroStrategy. I think we'll have a look. I'll have a closer look at that. But I don't think there's any rush, right? I want to see that daily close. I want to see what Bitcoin does. So we'll see. The big thing with a big, powerful, strong uptrend is you don't want to try and get too cute. Like, it's fine because, you know, we got underneath it, right? We got underneath it, caught a big chunk, layered positions. You know, overall, this is not a bad look, is it? Right? This looks okay. But when it's such a powerful uptrend, you don't want to be selling here when potentially it's going a lot higher, right? So I don't think it's going a great deal higher, but it probably has got more room to run. So we'll see, right? We will see. No problem, CPM. Yeah, same old, same old. Coinbase is probably down, right? You will not sell the top. No more live streams. We need it to pump. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Big Rad, see you on your yachts. Oh, before I go, Big Rad, how was your date with the cheerleader? I gotta know. How did it go? Pullback from the high was obvious. Yeah, it is pretty rare to hot knife straight through all-time high resistance, so that makes sense. Executing 100x leverage short. Yeah, that's probably the strat. That is probably the strat. Next time I go live, everyone goes short 100x. If gold and silver gets there, how much will Bitcoin be? I don't know. One day at a time, right? I can pull numbers out of my backside, but is it really any use? Not really, right? Just take it one day at a time. We'll do our best to ride the trade for what it is. I guess gold instead of a pension. Yes, it's one way of doing it. At least if it's physical, you hold it, right? At least you hold it. Thank you, Swordson Rao. Bitcoin will demonetize gold. Only in my wildest dreams. But I don't think it will. And that's just because those central banks have put too much money in gold in their vaults, right? They're not going to throw it out. That's how I see it. Can Bitcoin, in the best case scenario, end up in like a basket of currencies? Bitcoin, gold, maybe some other things. Yeah, I think that could happen, right? But does Bitcoin, do the bankers just throw out their gold and say, no, we only want Bitcoin now? I personally don't think so. The rabbit hole of Bitcoin was a long time ago, seven years ago, maybe. And I heard about it before that, back in the Silk Road days. I knew people that used it. I never used it for Silk Road. I wish I did. I wish I had some. Someone told me to read the white paper in 2012, and I was like, nah. And if only I did, because someone again told me to read it in 2016 or 17, I think, somewhere around that time. And then I read it and was like, oh wow. And I was just hooked ever since then. So I wish I did read it in 2012, but yeah, I think it was 2017, and I knew there was a top in 2017. I knew that was a parabolic blow off top because I had enough experience trading penny stocks. And then I went all in at the bear market lows in, is it 2018? Around 3K. That's when I went all in, and I've been trading it since then. What gold mining company are you long in? I can't really say, brother, because the paying members have paid money for that. So if I give you that, then it's not really fair on them, I'm afraid. Bitcoin doing Bitcoin things. Yep. Right, I'm going to stay for, I'll say two or three more minutes. Big Rad, she stayed for 2 days. Good man. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you. Just wait till I drop the portfolio screenshot. Oh, hilarious. Is AMD a good buy? I don't know. We'll do that and then we'll say goodbye. AMD. Let's have a look. Get out of this weekly chart. I mean, I personally don't buy things like that. Okay, that's my thoughts right out of the gate. I wonder if we can use our tried and tested method. We've got, have we not, some kind of a range break structure in here, right? A bottom formation, or maybe we could do this a bit higher up. No, I kind of like that because then we get that retest, right? Breakout, retest, resumption, double retest, and off we go. If you don't like that, you know, there's still potentially 3 angles here, isn't there? Oh, what happened? So there's this one. I think something like this. What is wrong with me? Something like this. And arguably we are in the middle of setting this one here. So I wonder, right? You know what comes next probably. I wonder if we're about to go vertical. I wonder if the third one looks something like this. Let me pull this out the way. And that is what ultimately marks the top, right? But do I buy here? Nah, it's not for me. But down here would have been excellent, right? This breakout here would have been cool. Breakout, retest, resumption. So would that range break. Or, I mean, arguably even a later entry somewhere in this neighborhood. You would have been just fine in there, right? Breakout, you might have got stopped out, but then it re-emerged and you get back in. So, yeah, that's what I think of that. Yeah, Big Rad is boarding. All right, well, thank you everyone for attending. Sorry that my track record for marking tops on Bitcoin during live streams is as bad as it is. But at least we didn't spoil a bottle of champagne for no reason today. So I've got it here. I am in need of getting some rum ready for, or maybe Mrs. Camel already picked up some rum. Either way, either the rum is already here or I will be getting the rum ready for Sunday. So CPM, Cobra, can't wait to catch up. And for everyone else, thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support. And I guess we will speak soon, right? I guess we'll speak soon. So I love you and leave you. Until next time, I'm your boy Camel. Take care from me. All the best.